parents, like if you're out there, one of the things that we are teaching our kids is that by coming to mom and dad, it does not mean that anybody's in trouble. It does not mean that somebody did something wrong. It does not mean that they're, tattling on somebody. It means that they care enough to bring it to us so that we can address what's going on. Hello, everyone. We are Greg and Jacquie Francis, and welcome to High Performance Parenting, where our passionate goal is to encourage you to raise champion children in a crazy world. Every week, we will bring you multiple episodes from our extensive experience of raising our six happy, healthy, successful, godly kids who are confidently equipped to win big in life.
We deeply believe that any parent who is provided with the right knowledge and continual support can raise amazing kids. And when they do, all of our futures get better. If raising up future generations of absolute champions matters to you as much as it does to us, here's how you can contribute. Like and share this podcast with everyone you know. And together, let's embrace this journey of raising champion kids in a crazy world.
Hey guys, welcome back. So excited. Today I have some great guests in the studio today. It's always so fun when we get a chance to interview these special guests because they are so wise and so smart. And I know that many of the other podcasts that we've done together, you guys have been helping families and young children specifically on some of the different topics that we've been discussing. So would anybody like to introduce themselves that are in the studio today?
Hi there, I'm Crissy.
Hi, I'm Abbie. And I'm Bella.
All right, great. And today, Crissy, what are we going to discuss?
We're going to talk about the importance of how siblings look out for each other.
That's right. And, we've had some situations in our house, even just recently, where you guys have really been looking out for the best interest of each other, right?
Right. Like whether it's if one sibling tells another sibling something going on, then one of them will bring it to mom and dad and then they can work it all out together. Whatever. If I tell Abbie, Abbie will think over the problem and we'll discuss it with mom, and then we can all bring it to her and we can find the solution rather than just have the problem lingering.
Right. So let's back up for a minute. So a couple weeks ago, actually, Crissy, it was you. You and Bella actually were having a couple, I don't want to call them disagreements, just not on the same page, right? You were both kind of, maybe a little hurt by each other about a couple of things, not understanding, hadn't really communicated feelings. And if we did communicate feelings, it wasn't in a way that naturally either one of you were really understanding each other. Right.
It's like we were very similar because we both have words of affirmation as one of our top 2 love languages, and we're very similar in how we argue and stuff like that. But yet we still didn't understand each other. Like we knew how each other reacted to things, but we didn't understand.
And that's funny. So just you said it like, how important it is that you were arguing about things. And so it's pretty normal, right, to disagree about things here.
Oh yeah, it's a sign of a healthy relationship.
That's right. We definitely are strong-minded people in this family.
Mm-hmm. Lots of us.
Each of us have an opinion. And so sometimes there's disagreement. Would you agree, Bella?
Yes, I agree. Even if we argue the same or think the same, sometimes we just don't communicate our ideas, which is on both sides. That can happen on both sides. And then that can kind of cause a little bit of a disagreement between us because we didn't communicate what we had meant or whatever, which is just something that we're all working on every day.
Right. And, I know a lot of times people will ask me, they'll be like, do your kids ever disagree? I mean, they spend a lot of time together, because naturally, obviously, you guys share a room together. You guys have a suite together, a junior suite here at our house together. So you have your own bedroom with your own area, but you spend a lot of time doing that and being together every day. Then you do school together, and then you guys all do sports together. And so you spend a lot of time together when sometimes some siblings kind of don't have the same room, or they are in different sports or in different grades or whatever, different friend groups, whatever it may be. You guys have all that combined. So naturally, yes, you do disagree about things and feelings get hurt. But the whole point is how to actually look out for each other, even when sometimes our feelings are hurt, or even when we don't understand or agree with somebody, or that we're going through a season of not feeling heard. It's so important to make sure we're still looking out for each other. So in this scenario, it was Bella and Crissy who were having some, disagreements, miscommunication, whatever you want to call it. And Abbie was the one kind of in the middle, trying to make sure that you were hearing from all your sisters.
Yeah, I'm the one. I feel like I like to make sure that I have a close connection with both of them, and I feel like their tension, like I have a good connection with Crissy and I have a great connection with Bella, but I feel like the tension was between Bella and Crissy, and I wanted them to reunite, so it's like a triangle. All three of us are together, close together. So like I could tell, like I'd ask each of them separately, individually, what's going on? Like, you can tell me your feelings, because we had such a close bond in the season right now, is so they could actually just open up to me, and then from them opening up to me, I just knew how to communicate it with mom. Like I didn't know exactly fully, like I know both of them had kind of questions which made me question, but bringing it to mom, it kind of all evened out, and mom knew how to best handle the situation, so their bond between Crissy and Bella can link together and be closer, so then it's like the whole group together.
Right. So just to explain, and I'm sure everyone out there, the same situations happen at your own house where, your kids are disagreeing about something or they're hurt by each other, and maybe they don't bring it to you right away. Maybe, they're getting older like mine are, 14 years old, and they're trying to kind of work some stuff out themselves. And I appreciate that, because I think it's great that you're using all the skills that Dad and I have instilled in you to be able to communicate well and effectively. But sometimes it gets to a point where you need kind of like an outside perspective. And neither one of them had brought it to me. Both of them kind of kept it to themselves, or maybe talked to Abbie about it. And Abbie was highly encouraging them. Like, you should go talk to mom about this. You should go talk to mom about this. In fact, at one point, even Crissy had talked to Drews, your brother, about it. And he said, you really need to go talk to mom about this. And if not, I'll go with you. Like, let's discuss this, right?
Right. He kept telling me, like, sometimes I'll switch back and forth to Abbie and Bella's room or Drew and Ellie's room. We keep switching back and forth because they all like me in their rooms, and it's fun. So Drew's at night would be when it just was like me and him in there. When Ellie escaped to mom and dad's bedroom, it would just be me and Drew, and he'd be like, okay, Crissy, we're going to do the talk tomorrow. I'm going to do it with you. And he's like, you keep trying to push it off. I'm going to do it with you. And I'm like, okay, I don't want to, but okay.
Which was an example of you now maybe wanting to face into it at first.
Right. It was kind of a little thing, and I didn't see, I guess, all, like, how it affected me in different ways. Like, when you're going through something, you try to make yourself feel okay. I kept feeling okay, but I didn't really address the hurt that I was feeling. So I just kept it in. I'm like, why do we need to even talk about this? It's not a big deal, But then Drew's is like, it is a big deal. Like, you have an important love tank. Like, it needs to be filled. So I kept being like, Drew's, not tomorrow. It's busy. He'd be like, no, we're going to do it tomorrow. So then eventually when I did tell, I was like, Drew's, I told. He goes, good job.
Right.
Yeah, and when I was telling Crissy and helping her through this situation, like me and Bella sleep next to each other, and so we get to talk to each other because our beds are right next to each other. So when we talk together, I get to ask her feelings about it, and then Crissy, I just get time start of the day. We do crafts together, so I got to talk to Crissy, and I'm like, Crissy, you really need to tell mom about this. I don't know exactly how to handle this, but you need to tell mom so she can actually help you navigate through this whole scenario. And like Bella, she was probably just didn't know how to handle it. She was hurt, and like when Bella's hurt, sometimes she just kind of keeps things to herself and doesn't know how to really express it. So then I'm like, neither of them are going to mom, so I'm going to go to mom to help stick up for my sisters. Even though I wasn't in the situation, I knew I was like in the middle of it, trying to help them get together again. So the first thing is like, we got to make sure we're staying connected. Like, I was staying connected with both of them so I could hear both of their sides, because mom's very busy, so she's not always available to hear what I hear. And it's also different with a sister bond, so we could actually really relate to each other because we're like in the same grade, do the same things. So that's the way I could relate to them. And then when I brought it to mom, she was like, she could tell, she was like, I was talking to Crissy, and Crissy was saying this stuff, how does this work out? What does this mean? And I was just able to tell her my feelings of how the whole situation was going. And through this bonding and connecting, we slowly got this thing to be what it is now, where Bella and Crissy now have a loving, wonderful relationship with each other.
Did you want to add something, Belle?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I feel like at first we had some mini disagreements that we solved that problem, but we didn't solve the inside problem, which we just kind of like threw under the rug, and we're like, it's okay. Like, we can handle this. We solved that disagreement. Everything should be fine now. But with neither one of us addressing the inside hurt, that's what kind of made the disagreements continual. So that's why going to someone like our mom or dad is so great, because then you have an outside opinion and they can really help you work through that stuff that you didn't think you needed to work through.
Right. And so in the middle of all of it, of course, again, you're trying to work through it, but it wasn't working out that way. I will just tell you, parents, like if you're out there, one of the things that we are teaching our kids is that by coming to mom and dad, it does not mean that anybody's in trouble. It does not mean that somebody did something wrong. It does not mean that they're, tattling on somebody. It means that they care enough to bring it to us so that we can address what's going on. And so our kids feel very open to be able to come and discuss with us anything if one of their siblings are doing something. So, Abbie came to me and she said, here's the situation, Mom. You probably didn't really know what was happening here. And we had a great talk. It was really good. It was peaceful. And she came from a place of just loving your sister so well. Then I had a chance to sit down individually with Crissy and Bella and hear from both of you guys and hear what you would like to be heard, what you wanted your sibling to be hearing, and then also what maybe you even think, you could have done better in the situation. It was like a good conversation. So I think I started with you, right, Chris?
Yep, you started with me because there was a situation even between you and I, Mom, that came up and everything was just going on, and I'm a thinker, so when something's going on, I'll keep thinking about it, and at random times of the day I could just lash out at someone I don't even mean to. It's just because I'm mad about something else, so I need to be aware of that. So that's kind of what happened. I ended up kind of getting ticked off, and then it grew into a bigger cloud of things, and then I'm like, Mom, can we just talk? I just want to explain this to you, because I didn't see any other way to explain my feelings. So I told Mom, and she understood then. She didn't understand why I had gotten ticked off or lashed out, but after I explained to her the real reason, she understood then. She could actually help me.
Right. And so then after I heard from Crissy, I was able to ask you, how would you like to handle this?
Right. And I'm like, and Mom was like, okay, today's probably a good day to discuss this with your sister. I'll talk to her and we can discuss this together to actually get this fixed.
Right. So then I sat down with you, right, Bella?
Mm-hmm. Yes. You sat down with me and you really just gave me Crissy's perspective, which I had not been thinking about at all. I'm just thinking about how I think she's wrong and how I'm right and how she hurt me. And instead you brought up her perspective of this whole disagreement, and that really changed my mindset. I'm like, oh yeah, I hurt her, that's why she's feeling hurt, that's why we're having disagreements and all that kind of stuff.
Right. And just knowing even the different personalities, of course, listening to Bella and hearing her side was super powerful, but then to express a different side of it, knowing my child well enough to say, I want to sit down and tell you a different perspective. And like you said, to the point where Bella was really like emotional about it. You were like, I had no idea that this was her feelings, and that maybe I wasn't really listening to what she needed or wanted. So I said, okay, so in those situations, if Bella wasn't at a place where she was ready to kind of hear a different perspective, I don't know that it would have been a good idea to put the three of us in a conversation together. But because you were so excited about really talking about her side, not just your side, I said, how about the three of us sit down together? And we did, right? We sat down. Abbie was relieved. She was so happy that it was out. She couldn't have been more excited.
Yeah.
You were so relieved.
Yes, I was so happy that they finally got a chance to get talking to each other, because even though it was their argument, it still affected my life, you know? It still affected how they reacted to each other, and I'd be the one, I'd be kind of trying to help it, but, if it wasn't really addressed and wasn't talked about, sat down, and had the emotion roller coaster to it, then it couldn't be fixed. So I just knew, the sooner it gets out, the better. So I was so happy that I had my sisters back to where they were in the first place, which was happy, and just together, so...
Yeah. So maybe on the next episode, we can talk a little bit about, what it was like when the three of us sat together and how it kind of worked out that it was a safe environment for everybody to express their own feelings. It was a safe environment for everyone to learn from. And then it was a growing experience so that we can change for the future. Is that cool?
Yes.
Okay. We'll do a next one.
Hey everyone, thanks for listening and thanks for your love and support. We hope that today's episode added tremendous value to you and your family. It would mean so much to us if you would partner with us on our mission of helping parents around the globe raise champion children in this crazy world.
To do so, simply take a moment to like and share this podcast with everyone in your network. See you next time.